A massive thank you to Thunderfox, Corey, Akian, Lucas and Steep J for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 7 of season 3 of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode, where today we're here back ready for the Austrian Grand Prix. Now it's been a couple of days since the last video from this series. If you missed out on the race from Paul Ricard, the French Grand Prix last time around, I would definitely recommend going back and checking out. It'll be linked there or somewhere around there. Obviously for those of you guys that did miss out on that video. But as we head towards the Austrian Grand Prix, getting into sort of the nitty-gritty stage of the year, you know, sort of the European phase now. And at the moment, we're running low on cash, actually. The team don't reckon we've got enough money to rehire Jenson Button for the second half of the year. Turns out we don't need much extra. We only need another 350k to be able to keep hold of him there, as he's still 95 rated at this stage of the year there. He's still higher rated than basically everyone that isn't Max Verstappen at this stage of the game there. And I mean, to be honest, he's got better overall stats anyway than Max Verstappen on this grid there. Obviously, 100 experience, 100 racecraft, 100 awareness, and 90 pace and 90 focus. So JB, yeah, he's looking rather good at this stage of the campaign. We have got a couple of R&D points spare as well. You can see we've got a couple of big chassis upgrades though. 2 ultimate upgrades meant to be going on the car, ready for the next Grand Prix. So fingers crossed, maybe, just maybe, we can try and get another upgrade on the car here with the 1800 we've got left. I think if we wanted another ultimate upgrade, we'd need some discount on it, which unfortunately we don't have. We've got no more engine upgrades we can go with as well at the moment, so we might have to do another durability upgrade to try and help us out there. And I think control electronics is probably going to be the way to go here. So we're going to try. We're going to gamble it with a rush and hopefully get it done ready for the British Grand Prix next time round there as well. You can see, look at that. Aston Martin have got a mighty reliable car at this stage of the year as well, I just noticed. But yeah, that leaves us with 400 R&D points at the moment. They're waiting for those couple of big R&D upgrades to go on the car as well there. Championship-wise, though, Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo still lead the way for McLaren there. Hamilton trying to get himself back involved in that battle with Charles Leclerc and Yuki Tsunoda waiting in the wings. We're still 6th at the moment, which I'm very happy with there, with JB not too far behind in 9th place there. And constructors-wise, we're still in 4th at the moment, but I think there's going to be a big battle with Red Bull going on over the course of the year. Let's dive in to the Austrian Grand Prix. Right, well, diving in then to our qualifying simulation run. Could this be the weekend we see Austria done in under a minute? Time will surely tell, but a 1017 is what the team reckon we should be capable of around this lap. So wait and see if that's going to be doable there. Try and take as much curb as you dare through the first couple of corners, but losing a lot of momentum at turn 1 there. We gain a little bit up the straightaways, but not as much as I would normally expect to. Yeah, just look at the way the AI are able to find delta time through Sector 2 there. You can see there's no way we lost 0.4 of a second through that one corner there. But a couple of turns to go. We did get the purple score on the tyre wear program at the very least. There as we head through the penultimate couple of corners there. Yeah, there's no way again we lose another quarter of a second through those final couple of corners. It's only a 1027.
We needed on that run. You might want to give it another go.
We can break later into turn 1 though, but yeah, no way we're going to find another second there. The AI, it's definitely a bit balked. Well, the threat of rain is looming here in qualifying for the Austrian Grand Prix, so we've got to try and get a good lap in nice and early on in the session and really get ourselves up to pace here after the interesting run in the qualifying simulation run here. Yeah, I'm very intrigued to see what the top guys are going to be able to do. Brake after the 100 metre wall there. You've got to brake so impossibly late into a couple of the corners on this game. It genuinely tricks my mind. Like, I just don't believe the car can stop in this little time there, because we've got just such a fast race car at this stage of the game. But yeah, got to find the absolute limit in this thing as well there. Purple through Sector 1 though is exactly what we need to start the session. I feel like I'm very much just praying the car grips up on the exits of some of the corners here. As that one, it definitely didn't there. Yeah, like I was saying though, this game really does almost trick your mind once you get into the later seasons. Just obviously with how insanely fast the car is. Obviously the AI can just do it lap after lap after lap. I, on the other hand, struggle just a little bit at the final corner though. It is a 101.5, but slower than Latifi. Has left us not in a great place there, as Button's definitely gone faster. But yeah, surely top guys are going to be down into the 1 minute. And there we go, McLaren down at 59.6 here in qualifying for the Austrian Grand Prix there. You don't see that all too often. I mean, Hamilton, Max Verstappen and Sainz are half a tenth away as well. So we've got 4 cars that are potentially dipping down into the 59 seconds here, which is just ridiculous. I mean, the theoretical session best is a 59.4. But yeah, we need to go out for another lap. Right, heading out then for our second run here in Q1. The game only reckons there's about another tenth to find, which is rather alarming, because I reckon we need probably about another half a second if we want to be safely through into Q2. That's a lot of curb on the exit of turn 1 here, but we're pushing this to the limit just to find anything we possibly can at the moment. Come on, get it stopped, then get on the power nice and early as well. Oh, not the best run in the world there, but I don't think we really lost too much based on our first run. Definitely a mistake down here, though. Got to brake just at the 100. Going to lose a bit of time on the way in there, but I tapped the curb on the exit, and we are now back up into the green. You love to see that. As we head down in towards the final couple of corners, though, we have only found that 1/10 of a second the game thought was possible. Unless we're really brave or just rather stupid. Through the penultimate corner. Attacking a lot of curb there at the final turn. It is only going to be about half tenth up. That leaves us 16th place at the moment. We're doing everything we can in this car, and it's just not working. Oh, as we're going out for our third run here, the rain is starting to fall here in the Styrian Mountains, so I'm wondering if that might just have saved us here, as we're still sat in P16. Got to get out of the way of the Haas of Schumacher there. That was a little bit sketchy. But yeah, I think they've lost the grip now. I reckon we might just have snuck through into Q2 by pretty much pure luck, unless someone can do a miracle run. But I mean, it's only, yeah, the Williams and, well, Latifi, Zhou, and then I'm guessing the Alphas and the Haas cars. So fingers crossed, yeah, we've survived. Well, there we go then. You can see Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo separated by just 8 thousandths of a second at the end of Q1 there. But we only just sneaked through ahead of Nicholas Latifi there on our 101.3 there. About a second off our teammate Jenson Button on one of the shortest laps on the calendar there. It's not quite what I want, I'll be honest, at this stage of the year. But yeah, something needs to be fixed on this game. I know I say it a huge amount at the moment. But yeah, fingers crossed we can get close to that sub 101 in Q2. But yeah, we're going to have to give it everything it's got. Right, we're taking a big old gamble then here in Q2. We're trying to be the last car on our lap here, as the track was intermediate. So you can see there is still a little bit of rain drizzle. But I'm hoping the track gets dry enough that we can gain a big advantage from this as we head out of the final corner. Let's try and put the power down as best as we can then. Down out of the final turn. You can see Mazepin still, his best lap was on the Inters, so he's not going to be able to improve at the end of Q2 here. Not really too sure what times people are posting. Hopefully we'll get a good idea when the top runners go across the line there. Stroll down on a 102, Charles Leclerc on a 101. So we basically need to match our time from Q1 here if we want to be sneaking through into Q3, but we've got to avoid the wheel spin. Hamilton dips back down into the 1 minute flat. Are we going to see anyone down into the 59s there? You can see JB currently sat in P12 on a set of Inters as well there, so not good for our teammate as well. But we've just got to try and get the lap hooked up as we head down through Sector 2. A little bit sketchy there, but that's alright. This is the corner where I really tend to lose a lot of time to the AI there, but we get a nice chunk of curb that time round. Carlos Sainz almost down to the 59-second laps despite the little bit of drizzle here in Austria. But as we head through the final couple of corners, there are a lot of curb on the way in and on the way out of the penultimate corner. There are a lot of curb again out of the final turn. What's it going to be? It's only a 102.7, and that's nowhere near going to be good enough there. Just struggled a bit in the conditions, and I think, yeah, that's P16. So there we go there. JB really struggling as well at the end of qualifying, but Hamilton did a 100.1 on a set of medium tyres, so that's going to be interesting to see how well he does in the Grand Prix. There is teammate Sonoda a second off the pace there. But yeah, a lot of cars really struggling at the end of Q2. JB down in P13 as well, so we're going to need a bit of a fight back through the field. Mazepin did make it through in 7th place in the end there. Both Alpines into Q3 for one of the first times this year as well. But yeah, let's dive in then here to the Austrian Grand Prix.
Welcome to the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 metres above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill turn 3. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Ricciardo, Leclerc, Carlos Sainz and Perez, Russell, Ocon, Mazepin and Lance Stroll, Tsunoda, Verstappen, Jenson Button and Gasly, Bottas, Mr. Monaco, Nicholas Latifi and Guan Yu Zhou, Mick Schumacher, Schwartzman, Lundgaard and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Right, well here we are then, on the grid, ready for the Austrian Grand Prix round 7 of the year here from the Styrian Mountains, and despite the rough qualifying, feeling weirdly confident ready for this one here today. I don't know why, I've just got a good feeling here in the Styrian Mountains, but yeah, we've got to try and keep it all in one piece, keep it clean and tidy. Again, the AI, ridiculous in qualifying, but generally the race pace of our car is not too bad as well here, so fingers crossed that can come in clutch as well. JB starting P13 just in front of us as well, so hopefully we can team up together and make our way through the order here today. But waiting on those 5 red lights then, here at the Red Bull Ring. It is a long hole, but it is going to be lights out, and away we go. No wheel spin at all there, but still not a particularly great one, as Guan Yu Zhou does a look up the inside in towards turn 1. And we're just going to get swamped through the first corner there. Oh, Zhou runs into the back of Latifi just in front of him there, gets a little bit caught up. I think we've all got away with that just about as we head out of the first couple of turns here. Up the inside in towards turn 3. There was wheel-to-wheel contact between myself and Guan Yu Zhou there, but we both do get away with it, as I'm going to send it up the inside of both of the Williams cars on the exit of real turn 2 there. Bottas coming back at us though as we head down the hill. Oh, didn't want to accidentally dive bomb Pierre Gasly in this Grand Prix there, but we do hold on ahead of Bottas there. Latifi sneaks past him as well as we hung the Williams out to dry into sector 2 though, as we plummet down the hill in through sector 3. Yeah, not the best start in the world, but not a bad one either. Making up the one spot is always good. Got to make sure we stay in the DRS of all the guys just in front of us here early on in this race. Verstappen, I want a set of mediums, so he might be one to watch as this race goes on as well. But yeah, we've got Gasly just in front of us, and then of course the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, of course we're in a big title battle with as well, with the Red Bull, so fingers crossed. Yeah, Button might have to park the bus. There we go, DRS has been activated now as Jenson Button trying to look past, I think, is that one of the Alpines at the top of the hill? No, it's Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin, so our teammate could be moving himself up into the points nice and early in this Grand Prix. They're still drag racing though, as we head down in towards fake turn 4, real turn 3, but Stroll holds on for now, and it's not a battle for the points, it's a battle for 11th. Jenson's going to go for it again on Lance Stroll here, but can we get a bit of a run on Pierre Gasly as we head up towards the top of the hill, having a look up the inside of the AlphaTauri? Yes, we can as well. Button's pulled off the move.
You made it look easy.
So both 2 and 2 Motorsport cars starting to make a little bit of progress here. There's a long old gap up the road there. It's Verstappen now. Try and have a look. But Latifi and Gasly will leave them to duke it out behind us.
Gap to teammate ahead is
Verstappen.
2.0 seconds.
Team monitoring us about the gap there, but Verstappen tried to have a look past Lance Stroll as we somehow muscle our way to the outside here, and this might be a power double move overtake on the pair of them there. There we go. Loving that early on here in Austria.
1.6.
There's all Tsunoda and Button going side by side there. I think Verstappen tried to send it on Sir Lancelot. There's all duking out going on everywhere early on in this Grand Prix, but we have made it through. We're now up into 12th place. There is Button around the outside of young Yuki on his mediums. Can Jenson hang on there? I don't think he can. There's a huge train forming from P6 onwards there. You can see both Ferraris, the Mercs and Hamilton. Both Ferraris, the McLarens and Hamilton even. That's a force of habit. Have really just romped away early on here. But yeah, we're still stuck in this little train from P6 onwards here. I think it's George Russell and Mazepin that are holding everyone up there. It might be Esteban Ocon, actually, up in P7. But, yeah, we're now just all sort of slowly congregating in on each other, as I've still got a very, very angry Verstappen behind us. Oh, here comes Yuki Tsunoda on one of the Alpines. Not too sure if it's... Oh, it is Esteban Ocon. But I think Tsunoda might just have pulled it off there. A little bit of contact at the top of the hill as we close in on JB as well there, as we lock the rears ever so slightly. But yeah, I think the problem is George Russell, obviously, in that Aston Martin, a very, very quick car down the straights. Mazepin in the Alpine, one of the slowest cars down the straights. So despite the DRS there, Mazepin not really able to do much. And of course, his lack of racecraft, I'm sure, not helping. We got yellow flags out though. One of the McLarens has gone round. Who's that? Is it Lando Norris or is it Daniel Ricciardo who's gone round in this Grand Prix there? I'm just watching it. No, it is Lando Norris. Just gets on the throttle too early and is completely pirouetted by himself there. A completely unforced error. And McLaren still the very loose rear end of that thing, biting at its drivers. There is Lando Norris though, so Jenson Button now is going to be up to the points of this Grand Prix there. It's Verstappen. Tries to have a look up the inside. Oh, he is going to send it through the final corner there. We give him the room. Oh, we're not going to take that one lying down as we've got a safety car.
Is out. We need you to reduce your pace. It looks like there's a high amount of debris on the track.
So
a new strategy is available on the MFD.
I'm going to guess Lando ruined someone trying to get back on. Oh no, so I think what's happened there is Guan Yu Zhou has binned it by himself at the same time there. And Lando's... I don't know. Has Guan Yu Zhou binned it by himself? I've got no idea what's gone on here. We got Gasly in the wall as well with no front wing. I'm going to assume Lando Norris has rejoined and taken out both AlphaTauris in one go here, because this seems ridiculous. I think we're going to have to box now unless Button does so. We can't afford to stay out here for too long on these tyres. Is JB going to pit? No, he's not. So we're going to come in onto a set of mediums then at the end of the lap there. Go for an alternate strategy to pretty much everyone around us in this Grand Prix. Make sure we get it slowed down nice and tightly there. But yeah, I think a lot of guys actually behind and in front are staying out there. Both Ferraris are into the box there, as well as Lewis Hamilton, who was on mediums. So he's now been brought back on to the main strategy there. Dodgy rejoin from Carlos Sainz as well. But we should be still back out in P15 here, so higher than where we started.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
So unless a lot of those guys are going for a one-stop here, but even then, we've now got 10 lap fresher rubber. Right, well, here we are then, ready for the restart for the Austrian Grand Prix at the end of lap 11, pretty much 1/3 in to this race. But it is now George Russell who leads the way for Aston Martin here, so I'm expecting more traffic jams on the restart. But yeah, we need to have a nice clean one. Make sure we get into a good rhythm nice and early on this fresh set of the mediums, and wait for a lot of guys to come into the pit together. Don't want to crash to the back of Sainz through the final couple of corners, but as we head in towards the final turn, it is going to be green flag racing once more. Pretty badly timed for us there, as we were right on the apex there, so couldn't get on the power as early as I would have liked, but I'm sure we're going to see a lot of soft runners into the box very, very soon there, as we take a lot of curb on entry and exit of turn 1. Are we going to see some moves though as we head up the hill? Sainz already applying the pressure to Nicholas Latifi. Are we going to be able to capitalise on this? There's a lot of concertina and up. Everyone going mighty slowly at the top of the hill there, but round the outside of Latifi, both myself and Carlos Sainz go there. So Latifi clearly hasn't switched on his rubber again off the restart. Sainz aware of the top end speed that we've got though, as Latifi keeps the nose down the inside. We should be able to get on the power a bit earlier than the Williams there. Round the long way, but we've got the inside for the next corner as we plunge down the hill once more. Up at a 14th. Oh, we just nip a wheel on the gravel. We do get away with it. Sainz, though, not willing to stop just yet. Oh, Bottas! I think Bottas is trying to pit there as Sainz has gone into the back of Lance Stroll. So Carlos Sainz with huge damage in this Grand Prix. We've got another safety car.
We've been informed of an incident which has resulted in lots of loose debris on the track. The safety car is being deployed.
Well, this is getting a little bit ridiculous early on, and I was going to say early in this race that Austria tends to become carnage around the pit stop window.
They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
So Schwartzman and his Haas have now got problems here, but Sainz is going around with no front wing, as we're now up at a 5th place here, and on the same strat as all the front runners. Apart from Verstappen, I think, who's yet to pit. Well, it's a very late call, but Daniel Ricciardo is going to lead the way again here in the Austrian Grand Prix. The safety car in after just one lap. So we are now green flag racing once more.
The track is clear. Green flag. There's been an incident incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time and there are no plans for a safety car right now.
Well, there better not be more plans for a safety car. We've already had 2 inside the first 15 laps here, but Charles Leclerc all over the back of Max Verstappen here as we head up the hill. Oh, I thought about making it 3 wide. I really did consider that then, but are we going to see Leclerc get around Max Verstappen? Yes, we are. So Verstappen on his old set of medium tyres here, really struggling off the restart here, so we need to try and get past him as well. Oh, Verstappen having none of that, though, in the same way we had nothing when he tried to get past us. Yeah, surely Verstappen's going to be boxing soon. But we're just watching the top runners romp away again. However, we got Schumacher and Lundgaard behind us, as well as a whole host of other backmarkers who started on the medium, so fingers crossed they can give us a nice window to all the cars further behind. Verstappen's definitely boxing in, though, now. So we've got to be careful. Don't do a Carlos Sainz there. We do get around the outside. And now a bit of 4th. Because we've got more yellow flags. Not too sure why there's been an issue there. Well, making that pit call in the first pit stop, or safety car window even I should say, was certainly the way to go in this Grand Prix. But Tsunoda
is 3.0 seconds.
Tsunoda's on a fight back at the moment as we're definitely falling into no man's land. Don't quite have the pace of the top runners this weekend. The car performance says we're 3rd fastest. There's no way we are at this stage of the game there. Ferrari have got an absolute rocket ship at the moment. But yeah, still just trying to race and get to the flag in the shortest time possible for the best result. Tsunoda now all over the back of us in this Grand Prix, as I don't think we're going to be able to do much to defend from the young Japanese driver there. He's had a rough few weeks in Formula 1, but his fighting spirit certainly hasn't gone anywhere at this stage of the campaign there. All parks it on the apex.
Okay, we lost the position. Try to keep focus.
Not a fan of that from Yuki Tsunoda, so we're going to come back at him on the exit of the corner there, and we will in fact hold on to P4 of this Grand Prix. If you're going to go for a move, mate, don't then sit on the apex of a corner.
The car ahead is a second a lap faster than you.
That's not what we want to hear at this stage of the Grand Prix, but we did lose a lot of time battling with Tsunoda last time round. You can see, despite that, through the first corner, still losing another 1/10 of a second to the guys in front, but it is all towards the end of the lap where we're losing bags and bags of time. Just the AI with their old grip levels is still impossible to compete with around tracks like this. But yeah, we've got to keep our head down and focus. Here comes Tsunoda though, again, power run down the hill. Are we going to be able to get the cut back on him again? No, Tsunoda gets on the power this time around on his soft tyres and will now romp away into the distance. We've got Perez as well. Oh, not far behind us. Well, Tsunoda, saying that, dives straight into the pits at the end of the lap, so not too sure what that's all about, but Tsunoda, yeah, boxing again. Hamilton into the pits as well, 1 lap later, so Mercedes still trying to do the soft medium strat, I think, in this Grand Prix, although Hamilton started on medium, so he's done soft medium, I'm guessing then. We're still losing a bit of time to Leclerc at the road, but I think we're getting into a decent rhythm here as Perez now just over a second behind. There we go, 1 lap later, Perez and Leclerc, the 2 cars around us in.
Let's box this lap.
Not too sure whether it's worth pitting now or hanging out there for a few more laps and then going soft to the end. The tyres are still in pretty good nick at the moment, yeah, might be worth hanging out till lap 26.
8.4 seconds.
There we go, Daniel Ricciardo into the pits as well, the end of lap 23. So we are going to inherit the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix, albeit just for a brief period here. It's Hamilton, new fast lap of the day. Now, I'm just watching the delta to Lewis Hamilton behind us, and the fact we're losing close to a second in the final 3 corners alone just goes to show how much needs to be tweaked still.
Tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
Just goes to show you how much still needs to be tweaked on F1 2021. I'm aware he's got a faster car and fresher rubber, but it's just so difficult. Right, we are going to be boxing in at the end of this lap by Hamilton. The gap's down to just 1.3 seconds. As we head up the hill, though, I want it to be a little bit further away as we got yellow flags out. Which big name is this falling to the wayside here? It's Charles Leclerc. And again, another Ferrari power unit goes up in smoke. What more do they need to do to get some reliability in that thing? Could we get a safety car from this? Could it really help us out? I don't think we are, but you never know. Can always be a bit optimistic on F1 2021. Charles Leclerc out of the Austrian Grand Prix there in dramatic fashion from fighting for P2. And this could open up a chance for us to get a podium. As watch this grip from Hamilton. Don't think I've done too badly through there, and he's still taking 3/10 out of us. And he's got dirty air. Into the box we come, though. Is he going to crash into the back of us there? Almost. I tried to sort of send it through the final corner so he wouldn't. But get it slowed down nice and tidy. I say nice and tidy, a huge lockup on the way in. Ricciardo, the new fast lap of the Grand Prix, on 1:01.7 on mediums. He's matching what we were able to do in qualifying on a set of medium compound tyres here. But we are going to be quick towards the end. We've got a Red Bull in the gravel trap. I think that's Sergio Perez. No, it must be Verstappen. And we've got a safety car.
The safety car due to multiple cars being stopped on track. Mind your delta. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
So that has worked out rather well for us, actually, because it means we got fresh rubber and the field's going to bunch up.
And we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Must admit, JB and I as well have done quite a good job today. From 13th and, 16th on the grid to 7th and 8th at the moment, and we've still got more time to gain. Well, safety car in then at the end of lap 29, so we've got 7 laps to go on fresher, quicker rubber. Surely the question now is, what position could we finish in this Austrian Grand Prix here? Hamilton, though, going rather early as we head through the final couple of corners there. Does catch us by surprise just a little bit, but we haven't lost out too much. So we head out of the final corner here, back down towards turn 1. Surely when the DRS gets re-enabled, it is going to be carnage here in the Styrian Mountains. But can we get a run on Perez straight away up the hill here? We need to be aggressive. We need to be brave of this restart here if we want to try and get a big result, because we might not get too many opportunities like this. Slipping up the inside of Perez. Sergio having none of it, though.
Okay, you're catching the car ahead, but remember, we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres.
Sergio completely tried to slam the door there, even though we were well up the inside. I think he always knew that move was coming, but just didn't want to believe it. But we're up to 6th. Oh, Lando Norris has gone round again! Second time in this race, I think there was a tiny bit of contact with Yuki Tsunoda, but Lando Norris, we just watched it on board that time round. Look at that, though. Grip from the Merc. But Lando Norris straight out of contention in this Grand Prix there, and he's going to be pushed to the rear of the field. Daniel Ricciardo and Lewis Hamilton still duking it out of the front, and that could be to decide who leads the World Championship leaving this weekend. Can we get a run on Tsunoda, though? As we've got Carlos Sainz still in third on a set of hard compound tyres here. A podium is definitely on. Also, now Tsunoda's got issues as well. It's all drama towards the front of the field here in the Austrian Grand Prix.
DRS is now enabled.
Can we try and get a run then on Tsunoda if he's trying to nurse a wounded car to the flag? Is that going to affect his top end speed here as we head out onto lap 32? Yeah, look at that, Tsunoda really struggling as we head up the hill here. Surely it's time for a send on the Japanese driver. And Tsunoda, after such a strong to the campaign, looked like he was back on form this weekend, but apparently not. Tsunoda's going to drop down the order. Hamilton still leads the way, but Carlos Sainz now, the man separating us and more silverware. Let's watch Carlos Sainz then, see how much grip he's got on a set of hard tyres, I hasten to add. Still pulls out another 2/10 through that penultimate corner there. That is ridiculous at this stage of the day, but 4 to go here from Austria, and we are now right in the wheel tracks of Carlos Sainz. Button up into 6th place now, so this could be a brilliant haul of points for the team as well there, as we try to outscore Red Bull and build ourselves a bit of a safety cushion here. But to the outside of Carlos Sainz as we head up the hill there, and we are going to move up into P3 of the Grand Prix there. Purple through Sector 1 as well, but I think unless we get some dramatics between Ricciardo and Hamilton, this might be all we can get here.
The turbocharger is on its last legs. Let's try to keep mileage on it to a minimum.
That's not what we want to hear, with just 2 laps to go here from the Austrian Grand Prix, but rather hear it now than early on in the race. Turbocharger wear is very, very high, but Daniel Ricciardo has pulled off a power move on Lewis Hamilton with just a couple of laps to go here from the Austrian Grand Prix to take the lead.
4.9 seconds.
However, I'm sure Hamilton won't be done with it just yet, with 1 more lap to go. 1 more lap to go then from the Austrian Grand Prix, but look at that, Carlos Sainz getting a big old run in towards turn 1 there. We have to slam the door, and I think that is just about giving us the gap as we head out of the first couple of corners there. Carlos Sainz really did try in towards turn 1, but having absolutely none of that. But Hamilton's still stuck behind Ricciardo, 4/10 the gap at the front of the field here. Is he going to be able to get a run down the hill? I don't think he is, as I think Sainz and Perez now have swapped positions, so Sergio Perez up into 4th place of this Austrian Grand Prix there, and what has been a decent recovery drive there after all of Max Verstappen's misfortune and bad luck in this Grand Prix. But it does look like the Australian Daniel Ricciardo is going to take the lead here, further extend McLaren's lead in the Constructors' Championship as well, and will inherit the lead of the World Championship from his teammate Lando Norris. Through the final couple of corners they go. Daniel Ricciardo is going to win the Austrian Grand Prix there. Hamilton comes through in P2, And from 16th on the grid, I said on the grid this could be a good one. I was feeling confident. I wasn't expecting this much, though.
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you pulled through. Thank you.
Brilliant stuff from McLaren today. What a superb victory. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm really happy to see them there on the top step of the podium. Let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. Daniel Ricciardo is the new leader of the Drivers' Championship after today's result. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They fought so hard and had incredible pace at times, so I don't think anyone else did a better job today.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Meanwhile, Alpine move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the Austrian Grand Prix, and Daniel Ricciardo takes an all-crucial win here in the Styrian Mountains. Does take the lead of the World Championship. Hamilton, though, pole position, fastest lap, couldn't quite make it work at the end of the day. And from 16th on the grid, we make it through for a podium there. A mixture of good luck and good strategy today really did carry us through on a track there, yeah, where the car was really, really struggling as well there. But I know I said it a lot during that race, and I do apologise for going on, but something really does need to be done, Codies, with the AI grip through the high downforce corners there. I know, obviously, apparently it was going to be fixed with the new esports patch, but yeah, something desperately needs to happen rather soon on this game there. Perez comes through for P4 ahead of Carlos Sainz there. Jenson Button from 13th to 6th as well there. My driver of the day, personally, as well there. And Sonoda, with all his bad luck towards the end, dropped back down to 7th place there. But from 11th on the grid, I wasn't too bad a showing from the young Japanese driver as well there. Mazepin, Russell and Gasly round out your top 10 there. Ocon just missing out on the points. And I've clicked the wrong button. So that'll do us, I think, for this video then. Apologies, guys. We'll be back very, very soon. Ready with round 8 of the year. I think we're at Silverstone. A massive thank you for the continued support from all our channel members. If you want to be featured in these end clips, make sure you click the join button down below. But yeah, once again, a massive thank you to the Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David, Ben, Aiden, F. Stathios, Kato, Sean, Johnny, McBlam, and Mighty Spork for becoming channel members. The support is really, really appreciated.